Hey everyone, it's Chelsea and I'm back with another video. This one I have decided to call Wrestling Breakdown. Now this is going to follow Wrestlemania 33. I'm going to be doing all of the matches including the pre-show. Describe a little bit about what happened, what each of the winners were, and how I felt about them, and the event overall. So, I have a list. Right here. 3 pages worth. An important thing to note is that some of these might be slightly out of order. They had them out of order on the WWE official website when they had the card and who won. So I'm going to try and reorganize these to sort of match how they were, but I am like 95% sure I've got these in the right order. So, without further ado, let's get on to the pre-show. Now, the pre-show started off with just the usual panel, except they had Shawn Michaels on this time. They got him to do the plugs to the WWE Network, saying it's $9.99 or $9.95 or something like that, and he was so bored throughout the entire thing. They had Lita back for it, which was really good. I don't know how long she's been gone, but they had her for it. So the first match on the card was Neville versus Austin Aries for the Cruiserweight Championship. I haven't seen 205 Live. I've been meaning to, but I just haven't yet. But dear God, these guys put on a fantastic performance. I loved it. And I used to watch NXT every single week religiously, wouldn't miss it. I could miss Raw or SmackDown. I could not miss NXT. So I love seeing Neville as a heel because it's been so long since I've actually sat down and watched WWE pay-per-view or just product in general, that it's been that long. The last time I actually watched NXT was when I went and saw NXT on the Gold Coast late last year in December. They had an awesome match. As you can tell, the Cruiserweights always seem to have good matches, it's just the crowd isn't usually invested in them. The one thing I will say about the match that was a standout to me was when Neville had him, I think it was a rear headlock or something like that. They're on the ground, or it was a chokehold, and Neville went for Aries' bad eye. I think it was his left eye. And he did an eye poke, and just that to me was so smart. Like he went for the bad eye, he capitalized on it, and got the win. It was awesome. I loved it. So Neville retained his championship. Awesome. Match 2 was the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Frankly, I don't care for it. It's always been on the pre-show. What's it been? 3 or 4 WrestleManias. I know Cesaro won the first one. I think it's only been 3 because Cesaro won the first one. Baron Corbin won the second, and this time Mojo Rawley won. Now I do not care for Mojo Rawley. I really don't. The only thing that's really done is when you're on NXT, it kind of builds you up onto the main roster. But there wasn't. I don't know if anyone who was actually in. No, there was a couple of people that were in it. That were in it. That were in NXT. But it was just really weird to me. Like I didn't care for it. It was good, but I just didn't care for it. But instead, like I said, I actually enjoyed it, despite it not being a match you should care about. I liked it, and that's weird because I don't usually like those matches. Although, what was the Gronk guy? Was he a football player? I don't watch American football, so I don't know who that dork is. But the woman security guard, oh my god, she did not know that was a spot. I love that woman. Give her a raise. So Mojo Rawley won with the help of that Gronk guy to win the Memorial Battle Royal. It'll probably do nothing for him. Next match, and this was the final one for the pre-show. Dean Ambrose versus Baron Corbin. Now, like I said, I haven't watched pretty much any of Raw, SmackDown, or NXT in a very long time. But the feud involved a forklift. Yep. Well, it had a promo video. They had a lot of promo videos in the show as well, but this one had a promo video, so it it was a storyline match. It was there. Like, it was one of the matches, one of the few matches in this card where it was there. But I enjoyed it. It was a good match. Like, I have to say, pretty much all the matches on this card I enjoyed. So it was a pretty good match. They both did really well. I'm a fan of both of them. I was a fan of Baron and NXT, and I've always been a fan of Dean Ambrose. So it was good to see these two guys. Like, they had a good match together. I really enjoyed it. Ambrose also retained on that. So that was really good. He retained. There was only a few retains on this as well, which was awesome to see. Main show. We get into the main show. So we're up to match 4. AJ Styles versus Shane McMahon actually opens the show, which was something that was really surprising. This match, wow. Shane's shitty punches. He still can't throw a punch. Whoops, something just fell. Still can't throw a punch. Good to see. It was actually a really good match. The bit where the ref legitimately, he looked like he was legitimately knocked out. There was a medical personnel and I think it was another ref down there with him, but he was by in terms of where the ramp he was on the left hand side. And AJ tried to do the coast to coast right where the ref would have been able to see it, and this ref was legitimately knocked out. He had like blood on the side of his head. His face was all red. Like, good on him. I think it was all Hebner. I think. AJ tried to do the coast to coast. That didn't work. Shane got up and pelted him with that trash can. And then Shane did it, and it was awesome. He also did something that I thought was really cool. He doesn't do it often, but he did a shooting star press. He missed, but he did it. And just AJ's face afterwards, just like. So, AJ won that match. It was actually really enjoyable. There was a lot of crazy shit that happened. It was fun to watch. Shane still got some moves, which is good to see. Match 5, Chris Jericho versus Kevin Owens. For the US title. This is what Jericho held. So Jericho walked in as a champion. Kevin Owens walked out as champion, which was awesome. There was a giant inflatable list for Jericho when he made his entrance. They both had to walk down that massive ramp, so their entrances took a couple of minutes. It was a really good match. I liked it. I liked that the title changed hands. Yeah, so giant list and Kevin Owens win the belt. That's pretty much what you gotta take away from a good match, is that. It was a good match, like I said, so there was some sentons and all of that. Move swapping as well. I think they did a few of each other's moves. Match 6. Women's Fatal 4-Way. This was for the Raw Women's Championship that Bayley held. It was an elimination match. So it was Nia Jax, Charlotte, Bayley, and Sasha Banks. Nia Jax got eliminated first, but I think in saying that, they made her look really, really strong. It took all 3 other women to actually pin her. She was pushing them off. They couldn't do moves to her. Like, literally, the first move of the match was all of them rushing for Nia Jax, and she just pushes them off. She dominated the first segment of the match that she was in, so she was awesome. Then it got down to 3 of the 4 horsewomen, Sasha, Charlotte, and Bayley. Sasha was eliminated next, and then it got down to Charlotte versus Bayley. These two have some really good matches together. Like, the ending was, it was a safe way to do it, but it's nice to not have Charlotte or Sasha hold the title again. It would have been nice to have Nia hold it, because it would have been nice to have a strong woman hold it. I don't know if Tamina Snuka is still in WWE or if she's injured or whatever, but I would love to see her and Nia Jax actually fight or team up. That would be awesome. I'd watch that feud. So Bayley retained. It was one of the, like I said, one of the few retains. There was only 3 out of the whole show. Match 7. Raw Tag Team Championship ladder match. Who do you think of when you hear ladder match? You should go back to the Attitude Era. This match was freaking awesome. I loved it. So originally it was meant to be a three-way between Sheamus and Cesaro. I don't know what they call the Cup anymore, but Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, and Enzo Amore and Big Cass. The New Day comes out and they cut like a very short promo, um, saying that about the match and all that, and they go to step forward, and then it happens. The Hardy Boys' old music played, and they walked out there. Jeff was in his normal gear. Matt Hardy still had the skunk stripe from his broken gimmick, and they even like they are in the middle of the lawsuit thing, but I think they own the gimmick. But Matt did the broken thing a few times, and it was fucking hilarious. Jeff did an amazing spot. They had two ladders, and they got pushed into the Hardy Boys. But when they were set up, Jeff went up one of the tall ladders, did his move. Cesaro. It was Cesaro and Sheamus on the ladders. Cesaro full on ended up on the broken ladder because Jeff just landed right on top of him, and Sheamus got Jeff's feet. So, ow. Matt then climbed up at that same time to go and get the titles. They are now the Raw Tag Team Champions. They did successfully defend them on Raw the next night, which is awesome. So we had a first title change. Yeah, it was the first title change. So, match number 8 is the mixed tag team match. Yep. With the stupidest storyline in the world. And I've always said I hate those reality shows. I'm so tired of Total Divas and Total Bellas, I'll tell you that much. He and Maurice, they're amazing. In saying that, I liked this match. I actually enjoyed it. I didn't think I would. I enjoyed this match. And it was genuinely just a fun thing. Maurice didn't want to go in first. She tagged in the Miz, and then Nikki had to tag out to John. And it was just a back and forth thing. Maurice slapped John. Oh, yeah, I think it was Maurice slapped John. Or Nikki slapped the Miz. I don't know. It was something. Double standards. But it was a fun match. But it was kind of sweet that he did propose, but it's the whole storyline. Like, she can't pretend to be surprised. She knew it was happening. Like, he even said, like, I'll propose at WrestleMania. That's the whole point of the storyline. You cannot be surprised at that point. So he did, and she said yes. They're going to be off TV for a little while, but I don't know why they're going to be off TV for a little while. They're not married now. I don't know. Maybe they want to be with Brie and Daniels maybe for a bit. I don't know. So yeah, that was that. Match number 9 was the non-sanctioned match between Seth Rollins and Triple H. My God, did it start off weird. as an outsider who hasn't watched the feud, it was weird to see Triple H surrounded by police on a motorized tricycle with Steph on the back, and she's just like, she looked good though. She looked really good. So the police surround the ring, and then they drive off, and Triple H has got this motorized tricycle that he's rooming up and all that when he's down there. Does his spit take thing, and Steph's standing right behind him, and there's wind happening on this, so she's getting all of that in her face. Disgusting spit water. And then Seth Rollins comes out, and he's got this torch, this Olympic torch in his hand, and this whole ramp is LED. When he puts it down, the entire LED ramp just suddenly, just slowly, the flames go up towards this, the ring, and it was an amazing entrance. It was a cool match. I liked it. Seth did a really, really nice frog splash. He did some really good moves. Falcon Arrow. He did think he did that a couple of times. The back and forth with the pedigrees was awesome. Um, and the table spot at the end of the match was awesome. Triple H gets distracted after Steph goes through the table, and Rollins wins. It was awesome. It's also, I got pointed out, it was the second Shield member in a row to be put over by Triple H. The first one was Roman, the second one was Seth. So, fingers crossed that Dean gets his. Orton versus Wyatt for the WWE Championship. This was the only letdown of the card. And I don't want to say that. I like Randy Orton. I actually like more of his matches because he's got that slow pace where it fits his style of wrestling. It's not everyone's style, but it fits his. And I like what Bray Wyatt did in the match. It's just unfortunate that what he did didn't help in the match at all. So what he did was their entrance first. Bray Wyatt, he must have come up either through the promo and the smoke was concealing it, or he came up from halfway up the stage because there is an elevator that they have to go up from halfway through the ramp. So I'm guessing he probably did the ramp thing. But oh my god, the place was filled with mobile phones and their light. Then Randy Orton came out. And my god, that snake. That was a horrible looking snake. It really did look like it was being dragged by a mouse. Because it kept stuttering every now and then. Just, ugh, terrible graphic. Randy Orton as well took his time. Took him about 3 minutes because his song nearly looped. It was that long. Um, it was an okay match. It's just Bray did these weird projections onto the ring. And the thing is, excuse me, they happened whenever Randy Orton was down. They distracted the ref. By God, did they distract the ref. He got out of the ring every single time that happened. But it didn't do anything to distract Randy. He did it every time Orton was down. He'd go into the corner, do the backward spider thing. And there would be this picture. So there was maggots, or there was worms for the first one, and there was maggots, and then there was cockroaches for the third one. And it served nothing for the match. It really didn't. You get this awesome promo where, Randy Orton setting fire to the cottage where Sister Abigail was meant to be. And Bray saying, I'm reborn from the ashes of Sister Abigail and all that. And it's just, all this build up was just for a sucky match with terrible PowerPoint presentations in the ring that distracted no one but the ref and that actually cost Wyatt the match. Like, legit, it cost Wyatt the match. He just got a RKO out of nowhere. And Randy Orton got the pinfall. So he's now the WWE champion. It's one of those things as well where Randy's gonna hand it off to somebody else and his title reign's not gonna mean anything and just the only one I think actually meant something was when he was like when they had the two belts before they combined them. So I think that was the last one that really mattered. I think my dog's barking. But he doesn't have many that actually mean anything, which really sucks. But that's just how it is. So Randy won the title. Good for him. Let's get on to the next match. Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg. I hated the Survivor Series one. Hated it. This one was actually really entertaining though. There's something about these two big dudes just spearing and jackhammering and suplexing each other that was just awesome for this match. the pop-up spear from Goldberg where Lesnar hit him and then Lesnar went into the corner and just in the middle of the ring and he just got speared just out of nowhere. You can't see where Goldberg came from. It was awesome. Brock also got speared through the barricade as well, which it looks like Goldberg hit his ear because he was sort of selling that. That hurts. hurting your ear actually does hurt. But this is for the Universal Championship, and Brock Lesnar is the new Universal Champion. He got it. It was actually a pretty cool match. It was very short, but he got it. It was like 5 minutes or something like that. Like Goldberg's entrance was only just shorter, only just, and I'm convinced that starting bit of his entrance where he walks out of the locker room was pre-taped. There's no way, and that went on for a very long time. That went on for like 45 seconds at least. Um, so the next match was the women's six-pack match. This is for the SmackDown Championship. All these women made their entrances. Most of them got cut off halfway through. Naomi was the last one to come out. Not Bailey. Alexa Bliss was the first one to come out, if I remember correctly. But Naomi was the last one to come out. This is in her hometown, which is awesome. She actually came out, and I don't usually say this, but she came out looking like a champion. This is the first time I've seen her glow gimmick. I love it. I genuinely love it. She came out looking like a champion, and she walked out the champion. She is now a 2-time SmackDown Women's Champion, or at least a Women's Champion. So she walked out with it. It was a really good match. It's the first time I've seen Nikki James wrestle in a long time. I miss her wrestling. Like I've watched a couple of her matches and they were pretty good. I've got to go back and watch her NXT one with Asuka. But my God, was it a good match? I enjoyed both these women's matches. They were really, really good. They were well paced. They weren't too long. They weren't too short. They was right. And then we get to the last match. The one that everyone is still really bummed out about. And that's Roman Reigns versus The Undertaker. It sort of came off that in the last few years, the Taker would have to retire soon. Personally, I think he should have done it when the streak was broken by Brock Lesnar, or when CM Punk faced him. He didn't have to lose, but that was a solid match. Maybe the streak should have been one of those things that wasn't broken, but it is. We can't change what happened. I want to say I love it, but I hate it too. Well, like it and hate it. There's a few different reasons. I don't mind Roman Reigns. I don't. It's just he gets handed all this stuff, and it's just like there are guys who've worked in wrestling for years, and what company did he wrestle in apart from FCW? And then there's The Undertaker. And he has 25 WrestleManias without a doubt. And even before that, he was wrestling. 25 years. He's been wrestling longer than when I've been around on this earth. I'm gonna be 21 this year. Like, that's amazing in itself. Like, that's just weird. So you think about that and you just think, yeah, I thought walking into this match, it was just like, what did Roman do to deserve being in this match? Because I heard rumors and I sort of knew anyway, just from looking at past WrestleManias, it's just like, Taker's slowing down. He can't do too much more. And he should have a proper send-off. And to be fair, he did. He had a pretty good send-off. But it's just, the match didn't live up to what I want it to be. And, you know, you expect a really, like, I would have loved if you know, if it had been like Triple H or something like that. I know Triple H is another match, but if it, you know, if it had been someone from the Attitude Era, there's not many guys that are left from that era, or somebody who would have happily matched him, you know, made him look really strong. But this just kind of made Taker look really weak. Roman won, and it ended in probably the best way that it could have. Roman had fireworks, all of that, a huge amount of fireworks. He got booed the shit out of. Okay, he had so many fireworks. And then it was Undertaker on his own. He was in the ring, and he was just about to walk out of the ring. He got redressed in his coat and his hat. And he had this moment where he was just about to walk out of the ring. And he stopped halfway through the ropes, stood back into the middle of the ring, and he kind of just stood there, just looking down for probably 20 seconds. And then he starts to take his gloves off. So he takes them off, puts them down to the middle of the ring, and then he takes his coat off, folds it up, and drops it beside the gloves. And then he takes his hat off. And that's when I think everyone knew, when JR was present for this as well, he was commentating, I think that's when everyone knew that he's done. He's not, at least he's not coming back to WrestleMania. I think out of respect to his legacy, maybe he shouldn't come back. Maybe he should be one of those legends that just doesn't come back. Like, he can come back for the Hall of Fame, but that's just, I don't know. The sweetest thing about that was when he went up to Michelle McCool, who was originally behind the announce table and somehow moved, when they had a quick kiss, and Taker walked halfway up to the ramp. He walked to where the elevator was, because he used that in his entrance. Still a freaking long entrance, but he went up there, and he raised his hand, raised his right arm, and he went down in the elevator with smoke around him, and cheers, and people obviously crying, and me crying. I didn't get to watch this live. That's the only thing I regret. I watched it over Tuesday and a small part of Wednesday morning. Like I said, I didn't get to watch it live. I wish I had. It was a 7-hour show, though. That's a very, very long time for somebody to do that. It was amazing. I genuinely loved the pay-per-view. And I think don't put WrestleMania as the WrestleMania standard. Put WrestleMania as the standard every pay-per-view should be. And make them better, one after another. Because that WrestleMania was the best that I've seen in a long time. And I haven't been watching for long, but you can go back and you can watch pay-per-views. That was amazing. I loved pretty much every match on that card. Aside from, obviously, like I said, the Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt for the WWE Championship, and Taker versus Roman, but that's a completely different reason. I enjoyed most of the match. It's just I hated how that ended. So this has been Wrestling Breakdown. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. To actually support this series, share the video, and as always, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.